I spent the majority of my childhood in the most beautiful place in the world, in the very corner of the Pacific Northwest in Washington State. It's the land of pine trees and blackberries and that ever-present rain and the waves of the Puget Sound lapping against the shores of the evergreen state. It's full of many, many beauties, but its beauty isn't like that of a place like Hawaii or Alaska that has these big, bold, beautiful extremes. Its beauty lies in its subtlety. There's so many little things that I remember about my childhood, so many small things that pique my attention and my interest about that area of the world. Now, in my cinematic journey of 2025, having finally finished watching all of the Best Picture nominees for the 2026 Oscars, there's one film that always rises to the top in my mind, and it's the Netflix release Train Dreams. Now, the story follows a sad little logger played by Joel Edgerton living his life in Spokane, Washington. And there's a lot of really, really cool, moving, and profound themes in this film, but there's just three that I wanted to highlight in this quick little video. The first is something that I've thought about a lot, and it's the concept that life happens in the little things. See, throughout the film, especially in the visual style and the cinematography, we're given all sorts of little motifs and quirky moments that highlight just small things about living life. You see, our character is a sad and regretful man throughout the story, but he's often interested in just the small things about nature. Again, this is why I think it's so beautiful that the film is set in the Pacific Northwest, because it's a place that really fosters that sort of appreciation for the small things in life. At one point, there's an older man that is sort of a mentor for our character, Robert, who is sitting against a tree and remarks, "Ain't it beautiful? All of it. Every last bit," just talking about the bird song and the overall ambience of the place that they are. In the woods of Spokane, right? Just in the forest, we see these bugs crawling across logs, and leaves and flowers and birds, the regeneration of life. It's just these small little moments that really, really matter. These are the things, these are the parts of life that make up the bulk of our existence. In the same way, in Robert's family life, what's highlighted aren't the huge moments, not like the wedding or, the grand arcs of this family life, like even him having a child, but the moments of family, when it's just him and his wife and his daughter, playing out in the yard, lying on a picnic blanket and just having quaint little conversations, not about deep philosophical things, not about the regrets and the dreams that he's having, but instead just asking his wife to say his name because he likes the sound of her voice. These small little things about life are the ones that truly matter. And this film forces you to slow down and examine those things and notice those things with Robert. The second thing that I thought was really poignant is his portrayal and his journey with guilt. See, he's a man that goes through a lot, and I'm not going to spoil the film, but there's a lot of really tragic things that happen in this film, and he oftentimes blames himself for these things. Throughout the movie, he's having dreams, dreams that are full of guilt about things that have happened to other people around him, asking himself the question, should I have done more? Could I have done more to help that person? Is it my fault? And those are really, really important questions. People that are deep thinkers that take themselves and the world seriously often ask these questions and can be rather self-reproachful as a result. We see his journey in a very moving and honestly heartbreaking way through asking himself these questions. Is there more that I could have done? But what I find to be really important about that is the message that it gives us casual moviegoers. In examining the story, we can ask the same question about ourselves and about our life in general. Is there more that we could be doing? Is there more that we could be doing to help the people around us? Is there more of ourselves that we could be giving to the world? Is there more that we could be doing to notice the world around us and to live life to its fullest? And the third thing that I found to be rather profound is the finishing, the ending of the film. And again, I'm not going to spoil exactly what happens here, but there's a moment where it says Robert finally feels connected to it all. And that's when he lets his soul fly. That's when he lets himself soar up above the world. He's gone through this trauma, this tragic grief, and he doesn't really have a purpose anymore. He's drifting around the world without any light at the end of the tunnel. There's nothing for him to live for anymore. And it's only once he's kind of drifted away into this nothingness that he just lets himself experience life once again. for what it truly is. And it's in that moment where he's just experiencing those little things once again that he finally feels connected to it all. Now, there's something really, really interesting there that I think we can all take something from, which is that it's the moment when we let our soul free, when we let ourselves, even if that's physically, right, flying in a plane, climbing a tree, going to the top of a building, and looking out upon the world spread in front of us, physically in front of our eyes. It's those moments, it's those parts of our lives that we start to have these epiphanies and these realizations that in looking at the grand sight before us, in looking at the big things, looking at the big picture, the grand strokes of existence, that we realize that those big things, that mosaic in front of us, that tapestry, that quilt of life, is made up of the small things. It's those small little movements that make up each part of this grand painting, this grand mosaic that is the existence that we enjoy. So we have to look at things simultaneously, here in the present, where we are, what movement of life are we in right now, what's happening directly around us. And then every once in a while, we have to step back, we have to climb upwards, and we have to look down at how all of those little moving parts have impacted us and the world around us. And it's only then that we'll feel connected to it all. Okay, I'm gonna take a walk.